Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining me on this morning talk. So I kind of wanted to continue on about what we were talking about yesterday. The, this great reset opposed to the reset we should actually have. And it was so weird yesterday when I went to upload that video. And of course, you guys know I've been on vacation, and when I'm on vacation I separate work and everything else from as much as I can. So I didn't do any videos while I was there, except for like a short little video of the beach. It was like a short, a reel, whatever you want to call them, a YouTube short. But so I hadn't been on my YouTube creator app for over a week, and so I go and get on it yesterday to upload the video I did yesterday morning, and they had my channel demonetized, which is funny because look folks, this channel doesn't generate enough money for them to even pay me out. It's like $18 a month on average it makes, and they don't pay you out till it hits $100 in a month. They don't even roll that balance over, until you hit 100. Like Facebook at least would roll it over when I first start getting monetized on there, and then once you hit 100 they'd pay you out. But anyways, I just thought it was funny, so I went in there to kind of see what's going on, and it wasn't YouTube's fault per se. It's because I hadn't finalized the payout stuff. I still had to attach my bank account and upload an ID. But what I did find was weird was that this other flag came up, and it said that your videos and your pay or your channel would be demonetized if you spoke about the thing going on between the two countries in the old Scythian area, if you get my meaning there, right? The old Tartarian area. Yeah. So anything mentioning that right now will get you demonetized. So YouTube is now putting a full censorship on what's going on over there. And it's interesting. It just popped. Of course, it could have been up for a couple days, but for those of you that are following what's going on, we are literally at the brink of a world conflagration right now. Literally attacking facilities that could have certain kind of projectiles that could end the earth, if you get my meaning, if there's enough of them launched. So they're already, just like with the COVID thing, they're already preparing for this. Social media is already putting up censorship walls. So something big's coming. And something big already just happened. But what's going to come out of that? And they got the whole world sleeping on this right now. Just like they did the COVID when they rolled it out, all of a sudden the censorship, right when it hit the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, everything went dark. You couldn't talk about any of that. You got demonetized, you got banned, you got deleted, you got censored. And guess what, folks? YouTube is already putting up their fucking bullshit. It's already getting ready to start. And then there's something else coming up, in case you guys didn't know. Here in, was it July? They're having another roundtable on the next planned pandemic. And so we know what's coming out, gets what they're planning for in September, right? Another round, another weapon of the biotype, right? Yep, you got it, folks. Look, man, these people are freaks. And then on I had to get off Facebook yesterday. I was actually trying to do a few posts and catch up on a few things. And I was so disgusted that I got off Facebook, and I haven't been on it since, because every other post on my feed was this, the multicolored flag propaganda. I mean, literally, I mean, the city of this NFL team, this city of this baseball team, this. Just nonstop propaganda, man. And look, they know that I'm not down with that, you know? Look, hey, I'm open. I don't care what you do, what you believe in, you know, orientation, all that. That's cool. That's up to you, man. But I'm against it being pushed on children. And I'm against this propaganda, this nonstop shoving it in everybody's faces. Look, I'm not for religion being shoved in everybody's face. And all this is a religion. It's just a Marxist religion. And I'm just tired of it all, man. And look, your feed is supposed to be, you know, if you actually look at how the way typically algorithms work, is that it's supposed to be based on your likes, your you know, your comments, like channels you comment on, channels you like, content you like, keywords you use. They know how long your eyes are on a post or a video, right? And then the algorithm will adapt your feed to that. But see, they do the opposite, folks. These people they're scum of the land. Look, already those algorithms are evil as it is, because then now they're tailoring what you watch. But now these people are literally tailoring the opposite of what you like and want. It's like they're trying to cram it down your throat. Like they got your attention, they got your energy, and they're like pushing their propaganda on you 24/7. I mean, between Facebook and YouTube, I mean, my God, man. I don't know why these are the platforms that I'm having to try to work with here. But look, folks, it's where the people are. It's the battleground, okay? Anymore, I notice Twitter is just the same BS over and over. It used to be edgy. It used to be good information. And then all of a sudden, when the Zuck lifted, controls on, speech and everything, Facebook actually became way more exciting. But it looks like it's all getting dialed back again, because there's two things that they're getting ready to hit the earth with, folks, again, okay? Another event, like the event of the 102, if you do it backwards, you'll know what I'm saying, right? That happened right before the convid. And they have another one planned in July. And guess what? Folks, that's war planning, okay? That's war room planning. That is not, oh, we're just planning in case something happens. No, they're planning the attack. These roundtables, folks, they have a lot more power than you think. In fact, these roundtables have more power over your elected officials than your supposed votes do, than your supposed polls do, okay? And just like the roundtables like Bilderberg and WEF and Trilateral and all these other demonic organizations of scumbag, sellout, psychopathic piles of trash, well, these so-called medical roundtables are the new one. That's where they moved their focus to for direct biological events against humanity, to dismiss large amounts of populations. Look, folks, these are eugenicists. This is their plan. This is what they've always been working on for the last 100+ years, is wiping out, So just understand this, folks, okay? And I know it's so ridiculous that I'm literally every sentence I'm having to do is almost code speak. But look, I'm telling you, when I seen that on YouTube yesterday, I knew it's getting ready to ramp back up, man. The globalists, the attack by, the new administration against the globalists, they were on their heels. They were backing up. They were, they were losing ground. It was fantastic. But they've reorganized. They've reinforced. And their plans are getting ready to be unleashed on us, the pushback. Look, people, these are demonic people, man. These are demonic forces. Like, look, we all come from a light realm. But you got to understand, folks, there's many spirits that choose to stay in the duality, that choose to stay in this realm and hide from the light. And they get darker and darker the longer they're here because they lose their energy. They're not invigorated by source. And the longer they stay here and deny the light, the darker and deeper they go into duality, into time and matter, and the more demonic these people become. And they've figured out how to reincarnate without going back to the light. They've figured out how to jump back into bodies and stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like closed loop. This is what they'd like to do to all of us too, just so you guys understand this. That's what their whole metaverse and all that's all about. Trying not to just trap the mind, but to trap the spirit. Though I don't believe they can do it, but they're certainly trying their hardest. But folks, look, this is major, man. Nobody's even understands what the hell's going on right now. You got to understand what they... Look, we have an administration that's trying to bring peace, okay? Are they perfect? Hell no. Are there deep staters embedded in that organization, that cabinet? Of course. But look, there's demonic people like Lindsey Graham right now running around trying to undermine for a world conflagration. I mean, they're not just poking the bear. And if you know who the bear represents, then you know what I'm talking about, okay? Time to wise up, folks. They're literally sticking a javelin in the side of the bear. And now the bear's got to go on the attack mode. And it is no longer warnings and platitudes and regional issues going on. Because you know that's what that whole thing is, right? That is a regional thing that has been going on for a long time. I watched a documentary, a 3-hour documentary one time on that part of the world. And if you understand the history of the Cossacks and with the bear, then you'll understand how the Cossacks were always trying to get connected with Europe. But the bear would always pull them back. And we're always controlling their territories for most of the time. And there's always been that conflict going back hundreds of years. And then I would also say, folks, if you actually put anything into the whole Tartarian thing, then you'll understand that there was if a lot of the stuff that's coming out of this now, there was a world conflagration in the past, and the world basically went against Tartaria. Destroyed it. And if you understand why there's such a push by the West to cause this, I think this is a lot deeper and older than all of us understand, folks, because our history is a lie. Okay? So, hey, folks, I guess we moved away from the whole reset thing, but I think this is so much more important. And look, I don't even know if this video will even stand. We'll see. It's literally pure code talk. But I hope those of you that are smart enough to read between the lines, and look, you guys got to understand why I got to do this, right? Look, I learned this at Facebook. When everybody else got deleted on Facebook, I figured out how to work around their systems to be covert. When other people just put it out there, blah, 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 and then cut, they're gone. Look, you got to be smart, folks, okay? And look, I think Facebook, that's why Facebook had one of their people on the inside take out my page. And that's why whenever I go to try to get it back, they know exactly what happened to my page, and they keep acting like, we don't understand what you're talking about. Because it was a hit on my page. They did it a different way than they did to other people's, because mine made it through that. And it was starting to blow up. Like in a 4-month period, I'd gained like 40,000 new followers after literally not growing for 3 years straight. So look, folks, we're in an information war, okay? And they're trying to control the information and the narrative. But I'm telling you, you guys, you gotta see what's going on over there, man. It's what they just did over this weekend. It's unbelievable, man. What the provocation that is taking place. And they're going to drag all of us into it. And look, they're trying to dismiss mass amounts of people. Okay? That's what this is all about. And they want to do it through war and through poison. Let's say potions. Through potions. Okay? Potions and war. Maybe that's what we'll call this whole... Yeah, potions and war. There we go. Now we got our title for this video today. Folks, I would love to just go... Look, you know what, folks? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to cut a new video, frankly speaking, tomorrow. And maybe I'll do it on the way home today. And just, it's going on Rumble. If I can get it to upload on Rumble. Rumble is horrible. YouTube, I'll give it to them. The longest it ever takes me to upload a video, unless there's issues going on with their systems, is typically 2 hours or less. Usually only around 40 minutes with like Wi-Fi connection. Rumble, I have tried to upload videos there that I've spent 2 days uploading, failed, upload, try to upload, fail, upload, like just over and over and over. It's Rumble's platform could be great if they fixed it. But it's getting better. Great people there. A lot of them were deleted off YouTube. But look, at least on Rumble, I haven't at least dealt with censorship. I'm sure there's some. But I'll do a video tomorrow and we'll talk frankly about all this, okay? So I always post my Rumble link in the comments. Make sure you guys go over there and join me there. Because if you want to hear this same talk, frankly spoken, detailed, without having to code speak, like I'm some, like, you know, code whisper, like back in the days, you know, where they used the natives for, you know, during that other conflagration that these same people perpetrated on humanity. Look, folks, I've told you so many times, this is all about energy harvesting and controlling the population, the working class, the slave class, okay? That's what it's always been about. Nothing has changed since the Mesopotamian era, folks, okay? And possibly before that. But at least what we can go back to in the cuneiform is this was all happening back then by that loving God so many of you on the right, Christians, worship, known as Yahweh. That's his, actually, that's his Canaanite name, if you really want to know. But no, truly, by his Sumerian name, Enlil. Enlil, plainly worded in the Atrahasis and other cuneiform tablets, was the one who brought the flood and the pestilences to try to dismiss the Homo sapiens, that he literally asked his brother Enki and his half-sister Ninmut to hybridize, to create. And folks, I'm not talking about the spirit here. I'm talking about the human avatar that encapsulates the spirit while you visit this realm. Okay? It's such bullshit when people say man is made in the image of God. You're a liar and you're stupid. Go read Genesis. It says, come, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. That man's made in the image of Elohim. Elohim is El, plural. That means God is El, Elohim is plural gods. That means the gods. Okay? The body, the avatar, was fashioned after the Anunnaki, the Anuna, the Elohim, the shining ones, the powerful ones. The Spirit now is of the Father, creator of all. Wise up, folks. You ever wonder why you just can't figure things out? It's because you're stuck in dogma. See, people on the right think they're red-pilled, but they're not. People on the left are proud to be blue-pilled, and they are. But those on the right, look, you have a lot of good values, and you're more awake than people on the left. Obviously, the left are the bootlickers, okay? They're the ones that used to fight the man, the government, the power structure, right? Used to care about what went in their bodies and in their potions and all that, right? Now they're the bootlickers, and they empower big government. But the right has woken up to that, at least those that, those that are still believing that the Bushes are good guys and that, the whole 9/11 thing, right? You still believe in that, then you're definitely not red-pilled. But, look, your religion is bullshit. The Abrahamic faiths are based on Anunnaki worship. They always have been. They're lies, folks. It's the black cube of Saturn. The cross folded up is a black cube. Mecca is the black cube of the Nanar Sin worshippers known as Muslims. Yahweh in Lil was a Canaanite god. Well, originally a Sumerian god. Not the creator of all, the god of this world, perhaps. He was called the commander of earth. But you've all been tricked to worship the literal devil that rules this world, folks. You ever wonder why in Revelation it says that, pretty much all of the churches are deceived? That there were just barely a tiny, minuscule amount, right? The elect. 177,000. Is it 177 or 144,000? Well, whatever. 144, I think it is. That are the only ones not deceived. Think about that, folks. 144,000 people out of 8 billion people. But yet you Christians are like, we know the truth. We're the ones saved. Folks, you're worshiping the devil, man, and you think you're saved? Well, look, we're all saved if you want to know, because the true creator, the Father, and I only say Father. Look, folks, the creator of all is obviously embodies the masculine and the feminine, okay? The divine of both. But it's easier to say Father, okay? So just understand when I say that, that's what I mean, okay? The source, whatever. But look, we are all loved and cherished and part of, one with, that mind of all, that source energy. But this jealous God, this vengeful God, this God that has his chosen people who rule the world with their Babylonian banking debt slavery system, that's not the creator of all, folks. I mean, how dense do you got to be at this point? I mean, look, I know I've lost a lot of followers, and they're probably Christians. I've always said Yeshua was a real person. The problem is you guys don't follow Yeshua's teachings. You follow the Roman Catholic character named Jesus Christ, which was a constructed character to replace the true Yeshua and his mystic teachings, okay? And his teachings of life after death and all that. I've already gone over this, but look, you guys don't want to hear that because it rattles your cage. You don't want to know you've been tricked all these years, sitting in a pew giving Pastor Dan your tithings and your offerings, and you don't want to know that Pastor Dan was just a scumbag, leech, parasite, like all these politicians and everything else. Look, folks, you don't want to know that religion is part of the control system that's just as bad, if not worse, than government, because it tries to play on your beliefs of salvation and that your spirit will be saved. Even though, folks, your spirit's already saved. You're already a god, okay? Don't you know ye are gods? The kingdom of heaven is within, not without. Come on, wake up, people. It's time to start waking up, man. I mean, my God. Delete my channel, get rid of me, whatever. Send me the hate posts, all you want. I don't give a crap. Look, I speak truth, and I speak it boldly. You can take it or leave it, man. I could care less if it hurts your feelings. It's not that I don't care about you. I do immensely care about you. If I didn't care about you, why would I be out here trying to teach you the truth? Trying to get you to wake up, do your own research. Look at the cuneiform. Go read the Atrahasis and then go read Genesis. It's not that hard, folks. It's in your face. But you've been told a certain way, right? Well, look, this is the way modern churches cover up the fact that they know. Look, your pastor had to go to seminary school and stuff. He knows that it is the gods. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. He knows that. But he'll lie to you and say, well, that's the Trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These folks, these clowns don't even want to tell you who the Holy Spirit is. It's the divine feminine, folks, okay? They try to make it all patriarchal. They don't dude, look, folks. Oh my gosh. You need both energies to create, okay? If you can't figure that out, you're a dummy. I'm sorry. If I'm sounding harsh, folks, it's because, man, we've got to wake up. If you don't understand the beginning, you don't understand what's going on now. Okay? Look, the human avatar was created to be a slave worker class for the ones that rule from the shadows, behind the scenes. And these beings, the ones that stayed here and didn't go back to source, they become more dark and demonic than they were even then. And then they were willing to send pestilences and do whatever they could to try to dismiss these Homo sapiens that they created. Okay? Not the creator of all, folks. Now, was source energy involved in that? Of course. All creation is from source, but it doesn't mean that source energy can't be used for negative means in this realm. But they tell you to your damn face. They literally say in the Atrahasis and other cuneiform that the Lulu, that the Homo sapien, the human worker, was designed to alleviate the work of the gods of the Igigi, who were the working class or the lower rank Anunnaki, or you could call them the Anuna, the Watchers, the angels, the Elohim. It doesn't matter, folks, okay? They're the same damn thing, okay? Just different names for the same characters. And trust me, this clown that you all worship and say is the Father Creator, go read what he says about you, you dummies. I mean, he literally says, Sorry, folks. I don't know what the heck. I accidentally hit the wrong button here, and wow, that's weird. Sorry, hold up one. I don't know what my car's doing. Uh-oh, I brought the wrath of that deity on me, huh? Of the Canaanite god. Uh-oh. Sorry, let me fix something here. I don't know what the hell just happened there. My radio's like acting up. There we go. I accidentally turned on the radio and then my touch screen wasn't working very well. So anyways, look, folks. You can read in the Atrahasis quite plainly how humans were a hybridized race. And they also tell you, they're not directly, but they explain the process of how they had to put a spirit in the avatar, in the Adamu, the first avatar they created, to give it life. It says they had to dismiss one of their own. I can't use the real word I want to use, that it says plainly in the text. And they transferred his spirit, his conscious energy, into the Adamu. It was a test. And what do you know? That first Adamu, his name was Adapa, was who you would call Adam in the Bible, was super advanced and super intelligent, of course, because he had the consciousness of one of the Anunnaki in him, okay? And they were testing out this avatar. And they even tell you the way that they explain the process happened was that they had to move the spirit from the Anunnaki avatar into the Adamu avatar. It's all in there, folks. And then when the the humans, it must have enticed spirits. I don't know how the process worked, folks. This is the one thing I'm not sure of. Did they trick? Did they entice? Did they welcome spirits from the higher dimensions to come into their avatars they created? And then these avatars were made to self-replicate, right? Have babies. And they started like going crazy, man, like having babies like crazy, like rabbits. And then Enlil, the one that told his brother Enki to create these humans, now all of a sudden they became a problem. They were supposed to be just workers, slaves, but now they had a bunch of them that were, just, they were living in the hills. They were, coming and eating all the food, and they were just causing all this commotion, right? Because they were trying to survive, obviously, right? And so what did he do? First, he had them bringing pestilences and then natural disasters on them. And all that failed, he brought the flood. It's the same damn God in Genesis, folks. The jealous God. It's the same character. And yet you guys all sit here, oh, that's Jesus. Or that was Yahweh's Jesus walking in the flesh. Oh, man. And yet you read Revelation, you don't understand how nearly every Christian was tricked, right? Only 144,000 had the truth in them, the elect, right? Out of 8 billion people. But yet all you, how many 2 billion plus Christians on the earth, and then how many 2 billion plus Muslims on the earth, and then all the other rest of the Abrahamic faiths and denominations and everything else, right? Probably between all the Abrahamic faiths, it's probably like 4 to 5 billion people on the earth, right? Boy, you guys should all be saved. Oh, no, wait, that's right. You've all been tricked. So, I don't know, folks. Look, man, I'm not trying to sound mean here. I'm just trying to wake people up, man. Look, when you talk about this day in and day out, and then you live where I live, it's just, the ignorance is just astounding. And of course, here, man, look, in the South here, it's all about, like, looking good in the community. Look, it's all BS, man. Look, everything's BS, folks. Most of these people don't want to go to church. Most of them don't even believe it. You got most of them do it just to look good in the community so people don't talk bad about them. And then there's a lot that just do it because they do secretly hope, well, I don't know if I believe all this, but just in case, I want to make sure my ticket to heaven's punched. I mean, it's all a clown show, folks. Like, the Anunnaki created religion, period. Okay? And some of them set themselves up as these gods being worshipped. So when you pray to them, you're sending them your energy, okay? That's how it works, folks. They're energy vampires. But look, all they've ever done is abused humanity, okay? And we're still in that system, and we're getting out of control. That's what they always talk about. Look at the round tables. They're going all the way back up to 100 years ago. They were talking about how humanity was getting out of control. Too many of us. So what did they do? World Conflagration 1 and 2, if you know what I'm talking about. Now we're getting ready to see the third one. And we have all these other... Look, it's a constant attack on us, folks. Like, they've been trying to control us since the beginning of time. Okay? Then after the flood, they decided, well, we're not going to wipe them out anymore. We're just going to try to control them. Let's get these religions going. Let's get this monetary system going to enslave them. And we'll at least try to manage them and control them. And then when they get too big, well, we pull all the strings. We'll cause major things to happen, okay? Look, folks, I'm telling you, they reset the board game when they want to. And I've also explained to you guys how every new astrological sign that the earth falls under, a new family going back to the beginning, takes power. Now, sometimes maybe their aims for humanity in this realm are different. And there's always strife when that handover happens. Because when one family has a different vision for how things should go, the other one that had the power is going to try to hold on. It's like a little kid, and you're like, the parents are like, you got two little toddlers and the one's got the toy in his hand. They're like, okay, Timmy, It's Sam's time now to play with that toy, right? You've had it for long enough. And then Timmy's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. He's like, give it to him now. And then Sam reaches out, grabs the toy with his hand. Now you got Timmy and Sam both pulling on the toy, crying and screaming at each other. And then they start trying to swing at each other. And then the parent got to step in, yank it out of both their hands. Then make Timmy go sit in the corner and then have Sam, okay, Sam, here's a toy. Settle down now. Yeah, folks, that's what we're watching. That's exactly what is happening right now. But the thing is that these people, these demons, I don't even think the people at the very top are humans, okay? They don't want to give up the toy, and they've had it for a long time, and they're willing to bring a major conflagration on the earth, a major reset. Whatever they can to try to hold on to power. And that's what we're watching. So, anyways, guys, what were we going to call this again? Shoot, I may have to go back and somethings and potions. Dang. My gosh, I can't. Resets and potions? Was that what I said? Or anyways, I'll go back and find. We kind of went down a long road here, and I probably offended some people. But look, man, I'm just trying to give you guys the truth. And now, do I have it all? No, obviously not. But I've got a pretty good grasp on a lot of these concepts because I'm not locked in that black cube of Saturn, folks. When you're outside of the cube, you see things for what they are. Now, that doesn't mean everybody that's not in the Abrahamic faith has truth. Obviously not, because government is a control system too. And many of those that don't ascribe to religion, they worship government, okay? They think government is the way to fix everything, right? And they worship in a different fashion. I mean, look, we know what their worship, like I told you what was in my feed on Facebook. I mean, my God, this month, oh my God, you all got to swallow this. Even though it's a small percentage of our population that actually believes in that stuff. And look, I've got family members and stuff that I don't care, man. Look, I take people for how they are individually. But doesn't mean you got to cram all this down everybody's throats and we all got to be proud and happy for it all, okay? So anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Remember the Zooms I do. Oh, guys, and just so you know, quick update. For those of you waiting on the Garnets still, look, I've almost perfected a process now to clean them up so that what I was going to be sending you before was really raw, purple rhodolite, rare garnets. These now I'm starting to get really good at this acid mixture I'm doing. And I have a full multi-step process that takes about 2 to 3 days. And I'm still trying to perfect it, but it's almost there. I want to send you guys some gemmy gems, okay? I don't want to just send you what look like little rocks with knowing there's some little gems peeking out inside there somewhere. Now, these aren't going to be 100%. There's still going to be a little bit of rock matrix and stuff, but they're at least going to arrive to you a lot prettier, okay? So I just want you guys to know, those of you that have been waiting on that, I'm not purposely trying to stiff you. I want you to understand, when I get this process down to a T, I can literally go through and process all the garnets I have, except for the really little ones I have. They're already gems because the river's already done all the work, okay? Beautiful purple little stones, right? But these bigger ones, they've got a lot of rock and stuff on them. So there's a process I've been working on to try to get them cleaned up, efficiently cleaned up, because I have jars and jars of these things I've collected. So, but those are still part of the package, folks. If you do a Zoom with me, if you book at least an hour, my time for your donation, you also get a copy of our Zoom. You can do whatever you want. You can post it on your own videos, whatever. I don't care. I'm not putting copyrights or anything on it, whatever. I have nothing to hide, folks, okay? The only thing I hide from is the algorithms and the censorship. That's it, okay? I'm not trying to hide from you guys and trying to keep the truth from anybody here, okay? And then you also will get a gift in the mail of some of these garnets. And the more hours you book, the more you'll get. I'm going to get it to a point where I'll probably have a measuring system. I already got a digital scale, everything. That way it's fair, okay, this is how much you get for an hour, for 2 hours, just to be fair. And And I don't care what you guys do with those things. Make jewelry out of them. Just, you know, keep them as a, you know, in a little bag as a like a little trinket. Use them to meditate with. There's all kinds of stuff you can use them for, you know. But I think you'll enjoy them, and I think it's a good way to kind of offer a little more on my end, you know, too, you know, energy for energy. And I spend hours every week, folks, hiking and searching for these things. So I want you to know that it's not like I just go buy them, order them at some store or something. I literally am the one out there collecting them, okay? So anyways, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.